Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to day 3 of our Bible in a Year reading plan. I'm your host, Shanique, and today we're diving into Genesis chapters 9 to 12. All right, and today we're going to be reading from the New American Standard Bible. Okay, let's get started. Chapter 9. Then God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. The fear of you and the terror of you will be on every animal of the earth and on every bird of the sky, on everything that crawls on the ground, and on all the fish of the sea. They are handed over to you. Every moving thing that is alive shall be food for you. I have given everything to you as I gave to the green plant. But you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is, its blood. I certainly will require your lifeblood. From every animal I will require it, and from every person, from every man as his brother, I will require the life of a person. Whoever sheds human blood, by man his blood shall be shed. For in the image of God he made mankind. As for you, be fruitful and multiply. Populate the earth abundantly and multiply in it. Then God spoke to Noah and to his sons with him, saying, Now behold, I myself am establishing my covenant with you and with your descendants after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the livestock, and every animal of the earth with you, of all that comes out of the ark, every animal of the earth. I establish my covenant with you, and all flesh shall never again be eliminated by the waters of a flood, nor shall there again be a flood to destroy the earth. God said, This is a sign of the covenant which I am making between me and you and every living creature that is with you for all future generations. I have set my rainbow in the cloud, and it shall serve as a sign of a covenant between me and the earth. It shall come about when I make a cloud appear on the earth, over the earth, that the rainbow will be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh, and never again shall the water become a flood to destroy all flesh. When the rainbow is in the cloud, then I will look at it to remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is on the earth. And God said to Noah, This is a sign of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is on the earth. Now, the sons of Noah who came out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham was the father of Canaan. These three were the sons of Noah, and from these the whole earth was populated. Then Noah began farming and planted a vineyard. He drank some of the wine and became drunk, and uncovered himself inside his tent. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it on both their shoulders and walked backward and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were turned away so that they did not see their father's nakedness. When Noah awoke from his wine, he knew what his youngest son had done to him. So he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants he shall be to his brothers. He also said, Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. May God enlarge Japheth, and may he live in tents of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. Noah lived 350 years after the flood, so all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. Chapter 10. Now, these are the records of the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and the sons were born to them after the flood. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. The sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. The sons of Javan were Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. From these the people of the coastlands of the nations were separated into their lands, everyone according to his language, according to their families, into their nations. The sons of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush were Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Ramah, and Sabtika. The sons of Ramah were Sheba and Dedan. Now Cush fathered Nimron. He became a mighty one on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. From that land he went to Assyria and built Nineveh. Rehoboth, Calah, and Resen between Nineveh and Calah, that is the great city. Mizraim fathered Ludim and Ananim, Lehabim, Naphtuhim, Pathrusim, Casluhim, from whom came the Philistines, and Caphtorim. Canaan fathered Sidon his firstborn, and Heth, the Jebusite, the Amorite, the Girgashite, the Hivite, the Archite, the Sinite, the Arvadite, the Zemarite, and the Hamathite. And afterward the families of the Canaanite were spread abroad. The territory of the Canaanite extended from Sidon, going toward Gerar as far as Gaza, and going toward Sodom and Gomorrah, Adnah and Zeboim as far as Lasha. These are the sons of Ham according to their families, according to their languages, by their lands, and by their nations. Also to Shem, the father of all the children of Eber, and the older brother of Japheth, children were born. The sons of Shem were Elam, Asher, Arphashad, Lud, and Aram. The sons of Aram were Uz, Hul, Ether, and Mash. Arpachshad fathered Shelah, and Shelah fathered Eber. Two sons were born to Eber. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Jotham. Jotham fathered Almodad, Sheleph, Hazarmaveth, Jerad, Hadoram, Ozal, Dikla, Obal, Amimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. All of these were the sons of Jotham. Now their settlement extended from Mesha, going towards Sephar, the hill country of the east. These are the sons of Shem according to their families, according to their languages, by their lands, and according to their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah according to their descendants, by their nations, and out of these the nations were separated on the earth after the flood. Chapter 11. Now all the earth used the same language and the same words, and it came about as they journeyed east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar and settled there. Then they said to one another, "Come, let's make bricks and fire them thoroughly." And they used brick for stone, and they used tar for mortar. And they said, "Come, let's build ourselves a city, and a tower whose top will reach into heaven. And let's make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we'll be scattered abroad over the face of all the earth." Now, the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the men had built. And the Lord said, "Behold, they are one people, and they all have the same language. And this is what they have started to do. And now nothing which they plan to do will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and there confuse their language, so that they will not understand one another's speech." So the Lord scattered them abroad from there over the face of all the earth, and they stopped building the city. Therefore it was named Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of all the earth, and from there the Lord scattered them abroad over the face of all the earth. These are the records of the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old when he fathered Arpachshad, 2 years after the flood, and Shem lived 500 years after he fathered Arpachshad, and he fathered other sons and daughters. Arpachshad lived 35 years and fathered Shelah, and Arpachshad lived 403 years after he fathered Shelah, and he fathered other sons and daughters. Shelah lived 30 years and fathered Eber, and Shelah lived 403 years after he fathered Eber, and he fathered other sons and daughters. Eber lived 34 years and fathered Peleg, and Eber lived 430 years after he fathered Peleg, and he fathered other sons and daughters. Peleg lived 30 years and fathered Reu, and Peleg lived 209 years after he fathered Reu. And he fathered other sons and daughters. Reu lived 32 years and fathered Serug, and Reu lived 207 years after he fathered Serug, and he fathered other sons and daughters. Serug lived 30 years and fathered Nahor, and Serug lived 200 years after he fathered Nahor, and he fathered other sons and daughters. Nahor lived 29 years and fathered Terah, and Nahor lived 119 years after he fathered Terah, and he fathered other sons and daughters. Terah lived 70 years and fathered Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the records of the generations of Terah. Terah fathered Abraham, Nahor, and Haran fathered Lot. Haran died during the lifetime of his father Terah in the land of his birth in Ur of the Chaldeans. Abram and Nahor took wives for themselves. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife was Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and Ishkah. Sarai was unable to conceive. She did not have a child. Now Terah took his son Abraham and Lot, the son of Haran, his grandson, and his daughter-in-law Sarai, his son's Abraham's wife, and they departed together from Ur of the Chaldeans to go to the land of Canaan. And they went as far as Haran and settled there. The days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. Chapter 12. Now the Lord said to Abraham, Go from your country, and from your relatives, and from your father's house, to the land which I will show you. And I will make you into a great nation, and I'll bless you, and your name great, and you shall be a blessing. And I'll bless those who bless you, and the one who curses you, I will curse. And in you all the families of the earth will be blessed. So Abraham went away as the Lord had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. Now Abraham was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. Abraham took his wife Sarai and his nephew Lot, and all their possessions which had accumulated, and the people which they had acquired in Haran, and they set out for the land of Canaan. So they came to the land of Canaan. Abraham passed through the land as far as the site of Shechem, to the oak of Moreh. Now the Canaanites were in the land at that time. And the Lord appeared to Abraham and said, To your descendants I will give this land. So he built an altar there to the Lord who had appeared to him. Then he proceeded from there to the mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. And there he built an altar to the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. Then Abraham journeyed on, continuing toward Negev. Now there was a famine in the land. So Abraham went down to Egypt to live there for a time, because the famine was severe in the land. It came about when he was approaching Egypt that he said to his wife Sarah, See now, I know that you are a beautiful woman, and when the Egyptians see you, they will say, This is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will let you live. Please say that you are my sister, so that it may go well for me because of you, and that I may live on account of you. Now it came about when Abraham entered Egypt that the Egyptians saw that the woman was very beautiful. Pharaoh's officials saw her and praised her to Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. Therefore he treated Abraham well for her sake, and he gave him sheep, oxen, male donkeys, male servants, and female servants, female donkeys, and camels. But the Lord struck Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abraham's wife. Then Pharaoh called Abraham and said, What is this that you have done to me? Why did you not tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say she's my sister? So that I took her for myself as a wife. Now then, here is your wife. Take her and go. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they escorted him away with his wife and all that belonged to him. Okay, now that's our reading for today. So let's take a quick look at some of these passages. So after the flood, here we see the lifespan of man starting to decrease. So we no longer see man living 900 plus years, right? And we also see that God introduces animal as food. Now in chapter 9, we see God making a covenant with his people to never again send floodwaters to destroy the earth. And he puts a rainbow in the sky as a sign, as a reminder of that promise. And we then see Now one day he gets drunk and his son Ham accidentally discovers him naked. But instead of being a good son and covering his dad, he goes out and he publicizes it to his brothers, right? And when his dad finds out, Canaan is cursed. Now, I want you to pay attention to the name Canaan, because as we'll later discover in additional chapters that we'll read in the Bible, Canaan later becomes the enemy of the children of Israel. So pay attention to that name. Now, in chapter 11, we read the story of the Tower of Babel. It's a story that you hear a lot in church, I'm pretty sure, where the people attempted to build a tower, but God confounded their language. So if you've ever wondered why we have so many languages, here is your answer right here in this chapter. Now, in chapter 12, we see God calling Abraham and telling him to leave his country and to go to a place that God would show him. Here we see the Abrahamic covenant established, and God promises Abraham that he would make his name great and bless all the families of the earth through him. And we see Abraham following the Lord, even though he has no idea where he's going, but he still goes and he follows what God commanded. And this serves as a reminder to us to trust the Lord no matter what. And that's what I want you to take away from today. Regardless of your situation, trust the Lord no matter what. And that's our podcast episode for today. Thank you so much for joining. And I'll hope you'll tune in tomorrow where we move on to day 4.